a Final Fantasy game on. Hello and welcome to new game. A game that I've been looking forward to playing for quite a while. Phoenix Wright is Eternity Dual Destinies. The, I guess, canonically fifth game in the series. See, I think I forgot to look up whether this one came before or after Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. But that one I feel like isn't. It's not really a Phoenix Wright game. Like it is, but it's kind of not. They will probably never reference anything that happens in that game ever in any other Phoenix Wright game. So we're playing this on BlueStacks, which is an Android emulator. I actually did purchase the game on my real account, so we get to play it legitimately. I have heard that this actually has a graphical bug on the 3DS where you would normally play it, that that actually makes one of the logic puzzles not make any sense. So it's good that we're playing a port that does the game better than it did originally. Should be able to. Oh, did I close it? No. Oh, hold on. Let me also do this. I was going to turn down the little sound effects even more, because this is a game that does the every time somebody's talking. Which is fine and all, but I don't want it to be too loud. Here we go. Really bad at keep talking and nobody explodes.
These are dark times, where the law has been reduced to rubble, and it's up to us to restore it to its former glory. Yeah, I know what you mean. It looks like your target finally decided to make a move. Don't you worry. I've got a trusty new partner on board. She's been with us for half a year, though I can hardly believe it. Anyway, her power will be our greatest weapon.
Are you all right, miss?
Yeah, it's for this very reason I returned. Time to bring it to an end.
And the badge. The almighty badge, which is used every time we need to present anyone with any evidence whatsoever. forgot to review the plot of Apollo Justice, which I played years ago. And it has some, I mean, so this appears to take place after Phoenix, or after Apollo Justice. Well, we'll wait for this guy. The best thing about bombs is how they erase and destroy without discretion. Now all I have to do is pin everything on that little girl. You do that. December 17th, but it doesn't say what year. The year wouldn't help. I don't know what year this takes place. 9/22. Oh, I wonder if that means that one of the court cases is going to wind up being another case on Christmas, like Edgeworth's case. 9:22 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 5. I also wonder if I need to turn this. Just a tiny bit. Okay. So, the final case of Apollo Justice actually takes place across 2 different time periods, where you play part of it in the present as Apollo, and you play part of it in the past as Phoenix, in the case where he was disbarred, or whatever the Japanifornian equivalent of that is. The fact that we're seeing Phoenix as an attorney again might mean that we're still going to be doing a back and forth through time thing. Like, that's why it's called Dual Destinies, because you play as Apollo in the present and Phoenix in the past. Or it could be that they just said, it's law, whatever. You can be a lawyer again, no problem. Nope, not feeling nervous at all. It's amazing what a girl can get used to. Even a tense atmosphere like this is no biggie. You doing okay, Athena? Oh, Apollo. Yeah, doing great. Like, I'm a little doing great. Oh yeah? Well, that's good to hear. Although, I could have sworn I just heard your voice crack for a second there. Oof! I'm that transparent, huh? Cracking? No, my voice isn't cracking. Nerves of steel here, I tell you. This is Apollo Justice. He's a fellow lawyer at the office I work for. Apollo is the lead for the defense on this case. But I'm going to be there at the bench with him, doing what I can to help out. I'll do whatever it takes to defend Junie. Speaking of steel, how are you holding up? That explosion really did a number on you. I'm just happy that you're okay, Athena. Although, I can't pretend I have no connection to this case. That's why I'm going to see to it that Juniper's name is cleared. And I'm sure you feel much the same. You got that right. I won't rest until Junie is completely cleared of all suspicion. Apollo? Athena? Oh, nope. That's her. Thank you for doing this for me. For free. People don't pay attorneys in this world. Junie. Alright. Hey, are you okay? Sorry about that. I always seem to go into coughing fits whenever I get nervous. This kind of thing never happens at home in the forest, though. This is Juniper Woods. She's my dear Osana Najimi, and she's also our client for this case. The news keeps repeating that Junie is the alleged bomber. But that's ridiculous. There's no way Junie would do anything like that. Case closed. That's how lawyering works. She eats her forest friends. If it grew in the forest, then it's alive and it's your friend. Don't eat it. I brought you a little snack, Athena. Just a little something from my garden. Hey, thanks. So, is this an orange or a tangerine? Is this a ladder or a step ladder? It's an orange. Hey, Serp. How are you? My grandma says that orange is the color of strength and endurance. Oh, I get it. Strength for the trial, right? Junie, you're always so good to me. Yeah, I'm curious about this too. It's been a while since I've played a legitimate Phoenix Wright game. Not that I didn't enjoy Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, but it wasn't a legitimate. Nothing has happened. We're standing in the lobby, meeting our defendant for the first time so that we can defend them for murder. As is custom. No, we're not meeting them for the first time. The protagonist seems to be Athena and not Apollo. Athena is like, new character. Apollo Justice is Maya, like she hangs out in the court and answers questions, but, this is her childhood friend who is on the hook for, bombing a courthouse that Apollo was in, so he's all bandaged up. Oh my god! You're right. Apollo and Athena. Did not catch that. Squirrel Girl. No, she does live in a forest, and just a moment ago she started coughing, so she took a sunflower off of her hat and began breathing into it like an oxygen mask. Geez, look at me, standing here clutching an orange to my chest with tears in my eyes. Well, don't you worry. We'll be so powerful in there, they won't know what hit them. Right, Apollo? Yeah, that's right. Come what may, this is one trial. We just can't lose. Oh! He died. Now it's a murder trial. Apollo! Apollo! Ugh. Yes, punished Apollo. Venom Apollo. Blood is seeping through his bandages. One of his wounds must have reopened. All this time he was trying to put on a brave face, but he was really overdoing it. Mr. Justice! Huh? The trial is about to start, sir. Please proceed to the courtroom. What? Now? But Apollo's in no state to defend. Arg! I have to defend Juniper. What are we gonna do? The trial is about to start, with or without us. There's only one other option I can think of at a time like this. Request a continuance from the judge. But even if I called him now, he'd never get here in time. Dots. No, wait. There's something else I can do. Apollo, give me all the evidence for this case. Huh? You already have it anyway if you're my assistant. That's how lawyering works. You should have already looked over all of it. Bailiff. Yes, miss? The defense would like to submit a substitution of attorney petition. Athena! You're not seriously. You just concentrate on getting better. I'll defend Junie. All by yourself? Athena, stop for a second. Think about what you're saying. You've never once taken on a case alone before, right? No hay problema. I can handle it, I think. Is that going to be her thing? Instead of exclaiming things in her native English tongue, she's going to slip back into Spanish? Alright, good. But I guess it's really up to you, Junie. Would you be okay with me taking over? Sure. I believe in you, Athena, and that's enough for me. You're worried for me, aren't you? To be honest, I'm pretty nervous too. I think my heart might just burst out of my chest. But you're in no shape to stand at the bench now. so you'll just have to leave it to me. Alright, I can see your mind's made up anyway. I hate that I can't be there, but I know you'll give your utmost to defend Juniper. You bet I will. Rest assured of that. Yeah, I'll just, whenever she slips into her native Spanish, okay. Si, senor. Her voice just completely changes. My name is Athena Sykes. I'm still just a newbie, but I'm a lawyer. This is only the second time I've taken the lead in a defense case. The first time will be in a flashback. It'll be the first time I stand up there alone, though. But I have to do this, and I'm definitely not about to let anything bad happen to Junie. You know what's interesting is only just the other day that I found out that there is, in English, a difference between a lawyer and an attorney. Lawyer just refers to anyone who has graduated from law school. Attorney specifically means that you are able to practice law in the jurisdiction that you're in. So if you got disbarred, for example, you can still, I think, refer to yourself as a lawyer, but not an attorney. And if you moved to another state or another country and you weren't authorized to practice law there, you couldn't refer to yourself as an attorney. Like, legally, or else we would get in trouble. Let's not get into barristers, because I don't know what those are. Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Okay. Everybody stand for the reciting of the national anthem. Court is now in session for the trial of Juniper Woods. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Of course it's Payne. Of course.
The prosecution is also ready, Your Honor. Aha. And what is the meaning of this? I was under the impression that Mr. Red Monkey would be my opponent today.
Wow. Racial off the bat. Got it. Yes, well, a substitution of attorney petition was submitted just a few moments ago. And in court, paperwork is processed the instant it is received. Due to the explosion in the courthouse yesterday, Mr. Justice is unable to continue.
I see. I see. Not at all surprised he used that as an excuse to run away. With me as an adversary, who wouldn't want to feign illness in order to escape?
What? The nerve of that guy! I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. Well, I would if I wasn't so nervous. Well, yeah, the three days for a murder trial, we understand their pace. Arg! This arrogant jerk. Is that... I think... So, very briefly, in the opening cinematic, or the opening animation, her little necklace thing talks.
You arrogant jerk.
Wow! Your face. Do you mind, Ms. Hildebrand? Athena Hildebrand. No, Widget!
Is my hearing getting worse? I could have sworn I heard the defense say something just now.
No, you didn't hear anything at all, especially not from me. How odd. I could have sworn I also heard something. Oh, that would be my indispensable partner, Widget. He sometimes blurts out what I'm thinking.
Well then,
If that's the case, then it's a clear contradiction to what you just stated. A contradiction? What could that be? You just stated that you said nothing. However, if that device of yours says what you're thinking, then you indeed said I was, what was it? Elegance at work? We're really going there. We're really going there with these faces. Eep. Actually, it was arrogant jerk. At any rate, what does... God. Really now? Does he not realize... Alright.
At any rate, what does it matter if a red monkey or a yellow monkey facing me? No fresh out of law school rookie can defend this witness. Mr. Payne, I believe that's enough. Let us get back to the case. Of course, Your Honor. I'm more than ready to show this little girl why they call me the Rookie Humiliator. He really is an arrogant jerk. Arrogant jerk! Miss Sykes, if you continue to insult the prosecution, I will remove you from this court. Ack, I'm very sorry. I will remove the device that is speaking and take it out of the courtroom. Of course we won't. Now then, Mr. Payne, your opening statement, if you please. Thank you, Your Honor. Now then, the incident occurred yesterday. Of course it did. Of course it just happened. They haven't even swept yet. Occurred yesterday here at this very courthouse in courtroom number 4. At that time, the trial for a certain bombing was being held in courtroom number 4. Ah yes, I was presiding over that trial as well. And Mr. Justice was there as the lawyer for the defense. A bomb that was being presented as evidence suddenly went off during the trial. It was a terrible incident, and courtroom number 4 was completely destroyed. Fortunately, we were able to start evacuation procedures before the explosion occurred, because it was one of those silly Hollywood bombs that has a red ticking timer on it and it beeps. Just a few seconds more and it would have turned into a horrific loss of human life. But there was, in fact, one death, was there not? That is correct, Your Honor. When courtroom number 4 was examined after the blast, the body of Detective Candace Arm was discovered. She was to take the stand as a witness later in the trial. I suppose she wasn't able to evacuate in time. What a terrible tragedy. I must admit I stumbled at least 10 times myself before I was able to escape. Maybe the court should see getting you even shorter robes. The victim's body was found near the entrance to the courtroom. I suspect she stayed until the very end to help guide the others out safely. Your Honor, allow me to submit as evidence the victim's autopsy report and details about the bomb. Stuffed animal bomb added to the courtroom record. She flicks her earring. Okay, I know how all this works. All evidence for the trial is filed in the court record. When I want to check something, I just tap the court record panel in the upper right corner of my brain on a surfboard. I better take a peek there later. Now then, please call the accused to the witness stand. Guilty. Oh, she coughed. Guilty. Defendant, are you feeling all right? You're looking a bit pale. I'm so sorry. I was feeling a bit weak when I first arrived here in the courthouse. But I'm all right. Junie's really giving it her all. I better make sure I do the same. If we could please proceed. Your name and occupation, defendant. Juniper Woods. I'm a high school student. Ms. Woods, can you confirm you were in the courthouse on the day in question? Yes. I came to know Apollo Justice through my friend, Hina. And so, I was there yesterday to watch his trial and lend my support. Don't do it! Something's wrong. Junie's really scared. Did Did you also know I'm known as the Defendant Humiliator? Looks like I have yet another chance to show everyone how I earned that moniker. Grr! Does his arrogance know no bounds? I have to protect Junie no matter what. Hey, you arrogant Prosecutor Payne. What is it? Do you want me to demonstrate why I'm known as the Rookie Humiliator instead? Deep breaths, Athena. Don't let him get to you. Prosecutor Payne. Junie is telling the truth. Not guilty. Dismissed. Mr. Justice also backed up her claim when we saw him in the defendant lobby. And Junie, he said that he was glad to get the lotus root we gave him too. You just saw him. You just saw him. He could have said it to your face. He was. My grandma says lotus root is good for your eyes. She says they can even help you see into the future? Can they? Okay. They can. Then that's the perfect present for a lawyer. And if that's true, I guess he must not have eaten them. A sweet, meek girl like this blowing a courtroom to bits? I must say it's very hard to believe.
Objection!
Now, Your Honor, don't let her seemingly innocent appearance fool you. The defendant had a motive for committing this crime. But that's not true. I don't have any kind of motive. And I didn't even know the lady who was killed. I admit the investigation didn't turn up any connection between the victim and defendant. However, that doesn't matter. The only thing that does is that her objective was the destruction of courtroom number 4 itself. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Why in the world would Ms. Woods want to do that? Don't talk during the other lawyer's opening statement, please. That's a very good question, coming from a novice such as yourself. But first, a question for the defendant during my opening statement. Have you ever been brought up on false charges? What? Why, yes. Yes, I have. And did that experience cause you to harbor a grudge against the court system?
Objection!
Now wait just 1 minute. If that kind of thing was a motive for blowing things up, then every one of our clients would turn into bombers. Well, that's a valid point. We wouldn't have a single courthouse left standing in the land. I concede the accused is... The accused isn't the only one who might bear resentment against the courts. But Miss Woods is the only person who could have committed this crime. Why? Because we have found some decisive evidence that proves the defendant's guilt. Now we're Phoenix Wright again. Decisive, huh? I'll believe it when I see it. It involves a very unique aspect of the bomb itself, Your Honor. You see, there was a pine cone on it, and since she lives in the forest, well, you know. And what exactly was so unique about it? Why don't we have Ms. Sykes answer that question? Huh? Me? I noticed that you appear to be very nervous, and well, gentleman that I am, I'd like to offer you the chance to gain some confidence with such an easy question. Oh, wait, Gaspin Payne? Is that not the same guy? Winston Payne was the other Payne guy. Could he be any more condescending? Really, what a thoroughly unpleasant man.
L is for loser.
Harumph. What did it just say? Nothing. Not a single thing. Yeah, like winced. So wait, so what's Gaston Payne then? I don't know. Now let's see. What was I supposed to do at a time like this? Oh, I know. The court record. Oh wait, was it Gaston or Gaspin?
It is Gaspin. Okay, Gaspin Pain. They tried. That's not really as much of a thing as winced in pain is. All right, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. What was unique about the bomb that blew up the courthouse? Was it because it was in the judge's pocket? It's a stuffed animal. She didn't do a dabbing slam, so she's gonna lose. Mr. Payne, what kind of simpleton do you take me for? It was stuffed inside a stuffed animal. Its evil intentions covered up by a cute exterior. Very good. Have a cookie. The bomb that went off in the courtroom was hidden inside a stuffed animal. There. How do you like that? Not bad, huh? I am fine, just like I said from the start. I can do this. Yes, as I recall, the bomb was stuffed inside a stuffed animal the whole time. I never even got to take a look at it. But what connection does this impish elephant have with the defendant? The answer to that question lies in another piece of evidence, which I have here. And what, pray tell, is this? It appears to be a little singed. It's a tail, Your Honor. A front tail. The tail of the poor victim in the explosion. This is incredible. Are you saying it's Detective Arm's tail? Your Honor is so very close, but no. It belongs to this stuffed animal. It's called the Phony Fanty. A rather unpleasant name, if you ask me. He's the mascot for a campaign to eliminate false evidence and false charges, is he not? Really now? Exactly. His motto is, phony evidence is just trunks up. You tried, pun department. You did try. That's so wrong on so many levels. The Phony Fanty's tail is made of vinyl cloth. And we found something very interesting on its surface. The defendant's fingerprints. What? The Phony Fanty provided the prosecution with all the evidence we needed. It clearly proves that the accused handled the bomb. Oh gosh. Now she is blind. But that doesn't make any sense. Why would Junie's fingerprints be on it, and how does vinyl hold a fingerprint? No, I guess maybe it does. Who knows? That does appear to be pretty irrefutable evidence. The court accepts it into evidence. Phony Fancy tail added to the court record. Boom. I should have looked at it. Alright, nothing to it. Ms. Woods, do you have an explanation for this?
I don't understand.
How about you, Miss Sykes? Do you have any plausible explanation to refute this decisive piece of evidence?
Well, I can't do it. I can't think of a single thing. I'm the best lawyer. But I better come up with something, for Junie's sake.
If you can't produce an answer, we could always go straight to the ruling if you prefer.
Ack, no, I have to say something. Fast. Oh no, I can't get my voice to work. Why now of all times? Does she have mutism?
Why are we zooming out?
I thought I overcame this already. Maybe I'm still not ready to stand in court?
So she was the murderer. I see. Really messed up imagery. Someone killed that
As
poor
you can
katana.
see, there is no room for debate.
Objection!
Why, it's you.
How do you even know what you're objecting to? He just, every time he walks into a room, he shouts objection, just in case. Just in case something objectionable was said 5 seconds before he opened the door. Sorry it took me so long to get here, Athena. Apollo explained the whole thing to me over the phone. He asked me to come help you out in his place. Thanks for coming. I hate to admit it, but I was having a really rough time on my own. Oh, I don't know. I think you were doing just fine, all things considered. And you hung in there, giving me enough time to get here. Now, let's turn things around. Let's kurikaisu. You got it, boss. Did they say that in this game, or is that only Umineko? Ho ho ho! Look who showed up out of the blue. If it isn't Mr. Phoenix Wright, you always manage to surprise me. Mr. Payne, Your Honor, Mr. Payne has called for an early ruling, but I believe there are still many things that need to be deliberated. Wow, what a fantastic lawyer. He said we should ask questions. How did Ms. Wood's fingerprints wind up on the stuffed animal tail? How was the bomb even detonated? Until these questions are answered, I assert it's impossible for a fair ruling to be made. You are absolutely right. Let us continue from where we left off. I assume you have no objections, Mr. Payne? None at all, Your Honor. Meanwhile, the witness is dying. Ms. Woods really looks like she's having a hard time. Junie's really struggling, Mr. Wright. I get the sense she's afraid of the courtroom itself. Because of yesterday? Yeah, it was understandably very traumatic for her. Poor thing. And here she is, back at the courthouse again, being so brave. I'd like to make a request, Your Honor. If at all possible, I'd like to have Ms. Woods rest in the lobby. Given the defendant's condition, very well. I grant special permission. You go get some rest, Junie, and leave the rest to us. Okay, thank you. Sorry about this. Nice fake coughing getting you off the hook for murder. Phoenix Wright. I've been looking forward to meeting you. It's been a while, Mr. Payne. You are more clueless than I'd heard. I do believe you mean, how do you do? For I am Gaspin Payne. I am the younger brother of your long-standing rival, Winston Payne. What? Long-standing rival? When were we ever rivals, let alone long-standing? You see, Mr. Wright, I will cleanse Winston of the disgrace he met with at your hands. Looks like this royal pain is going to be as thoroughly unpleasant as the other. Your Honor, the prosecution would now like to call a decisive witness to the stand. This witness will testify as to how the accused detonated the bomb in the courtroom. Very well. Please call the real murderer to the stand. There he is. Hey, Fox. This was the first Phoenix Wright game you played? It's rather out of order. The other ones are very good, and I'm expecting this to be as good, I hope. And we did already, Serp, you missed it. When we saw the thing in the opening of the case, when they show you the thing happening, we saw a guy in a police-ish, anyway, uniform. He wasn't wearing a visor thing. He was wearing goggles or something, but he's the guy. Yeah, this came out on the 3DS. I am playing the Android port of it, which is actually very nice. Like, when I tried to run it on the 3DS emulator, and it just could not... 3DS emulation isn't very good yet. It might not ever be. So it just couldn't render it at full speed. But this looks fantastic. I'm very happy about this. Oh, your first 999 is when you really don't want to play out of order. Like, if you play this or you play any Phoenix Wright game out of order, all you're really missing are the references. But Virtue's Last Reward kind of heavily relies on, you know, it's a continuation of the plot of 999 a bit. Witness, your name and occupation, please. Witness? Name. Name Real M. Erderer. Oh, his name is Ted Tonate because he is a bomb disposal specialist, not because he is secretly an evil midnight bomber with bombs at midnight. Oh my, what a strange robotic voice you have. Speech synthesis via typing. It is the same as me talking. He sounds exactly like a robot. Can't you speak in a normal manner? I can. He can! But I do not like to speak. Speaking is inefficient. Speaking takes longer than typing and then waiting for a voice to speak. Energy expenditure speaking greater than typing, understand? What an odd witness. Oh, one of your cats is named Pearly? That's adorable. Did she summon ghosts? Don't answer that, it's too spooky. Mr. Tonate was in charge of the bomb for that trial and was there when it went off. Being a bomb squad specialist, do you have any relation to the defendant? Negative. I first met the girl when on this job. Many people are employed by the police. I know only a fraction of them. However, I was shocked when I first discovered the body of the victim. Shocked? I was the first one on the scene after the explosion. I went there to ensure safety, but ended up discovering a dead body. So he was the first to discover the body, was he? He is here to testify about the circumstances surrounding the moment of the explosion. Very well. The court will hear Mr. Tonate's testimony. But at the very least, show this court some respect and remove that face guard, witness. Put that visor back on. Now. The bomb was originally disarmed by me, then transported here as evidence. Bomb name HH3000 operated by timer or with a remote. I was watching from the gallery when suddenly became alarmed. I saw that the bomb's timer was counting down. 5 years later, you really should have named her Maya. So even though the bomb was disarmed, so even though the bomb was supposed to be disarmed, it somehow got switched on. Precisely, activating the timer is very simple. 1. Connect wires. 2. Switch on timer. A monkey could do it. I am sure even you would be able to, Mr. Wright. I guess this makes you the blue monkey in this barrel of fun, boss. Boss? He's not her boss, is he? He could be. I'd now like to begin my cross-examination. Huh? That is a bomb. I know because I know what bombs look like. Mr. Tonate, what is that? HH3000, aka a bomb. A bomb? Great googly moogly. Yarg. Mr. Tonate, I demand that you disarm it this instant. Disassembly complete. 5.3 seconds, 0.2 seconds short of my personal best. Are you trying to give me a heart attack? I'm not exactly a spring chicken, you know. This is an exact replica of the HH-3000. It is used to practice disarming bombs. Disarm equals success, explosion equals failure. An exact replica of the bomb that exploded, is it? So that's what it looked like. I submitted a photograph of the real bomb taken just before the trial. Dimensions 10 inches by 10 inches by 10 inches, weight 12 pounds, a perfect replication. Your bomb does appear to be a very good copy indeed. Yes, however, I could not replicate the detonation mechanism. It has a very puzzling wire setup. It is regrettable I could not replicate it. Witness, that's enough. There's no need to replicate anything here. And now, if the defense would begin their cross-examination... Where is Ms. Sykes gone to? Athena, you can come out now. Okay, Mr. Wright, let's get to work. Guess you were pretty scared, huh? What? I don't know what you're talking about. She was about to bolt. Hey, put a sock in it, Widget. As transparent as ever. Now let's see, where were we? We were at the cross-examination. Oh, cross-examination, of course. She seems disoriented. I wonder if she's all right. Maybe I should ask Athena if she remembers how to cross-examine to help her focus. I'd better ask. Let's do the tutorial. Athena, you remember how to conduct a cross-examination, right? What? Of course I do. What kind of lawyer would I be if I didn't? Now, don't get upset. But what do you say to humoring me with a little review? You got it. Basically, we examine a witness's testimony and compare it against the court record, searching carefully for any inconsistencies. This green text represents a witness's testimony. Touch the right arrow to advance to the next statement of the testimony. Touch the left arrow to go back to the previous statement. Pay close attention to the testimony, and when you found an inconsistency, touch present to open the court record. The court record contains information on all the evidence we have at our disposal. You can use it to look for facts that conflict with what the witness has said. When you find something, present that evidence to refute the witness's statement. And what if nothing conflicts with the witness's testimony? Well, that's when you press the witness for more information, find any inconsistencies or lies in the testimony, and reveal them to the court. That's what cross-examination is all about. Looks like you remember it just as I taught it, and it was a nice refresher course for me. If you can't find any contradictions, and you flub up too often, don't be afraid to ask me for help. Tap the consult panel if you don't know how to play a Phoenix Wright game. Terrible. I will never press that. Sounds good. I'll be counting on you if I get in a bind. No, I won't. Alright, it's cross-examination time. Actually, maybe that's just like the, normally, after you go through the whole statement, if you haven't pressed anything and you go on to the next thing, then he just kind of muses to himself, and Maya or Pearl or whoever is hanging out next to him is like, it's strange that blah, 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 blah. But, no, we're not going to need it.
Hold it!
Hold it! You say that you disarmed the bomb, but are you really sure it was disarmed? Absolutely, I can disarm anything in a flash. That looks more like dismantle than disarm to me. Oh, pardon me. Let's see. Is there any chance you could have forgotten to disarm the bomb? Impossible. I do not make rudimentary mistakes like that. They say to err is human. Although the jury is still out on this guy. If you must know, Mr. Wright, according to the court's own records, the fact that the bomb had indeed been disarmed was officially confirmed. I guess I can rule out the possibility that he forgot to disarm it. Could you talk about the bomb in a little more detail for the court, Mr. Tonate? Certainly.
Hold it!
What was the approximate size and weight of the bomb? Dimension. We already saw that, actually. Dimensions 10 by 10 by 10, weight 12 pounds. This information is also written on the photograph. Ah, yes, here it is, on the back. According to this, the case is made out of alloy plating 5/16 of an inch thick. That certainly sounds like one thick and very heavy bit of metal. I bet if I dropped that thing on your foot, you'd be hopping. If you dropped that thing anywhere, I'd be hopping for the nearest exit. But, very well. I believe the court has heard enough about the bomb itself. So, Mr. Tony, you were keeping an eye on the bomb. Where were you watching from? I was watching from the gallery when I suddenly became alarmed. I need to know why you were alarmed, sir. Why were you in the gallery? My duties may have been over for the moment, but I wanted to keep watch. Even though the bomb was disarmed, you can never be too careful. Explosive devices are very dangerous things. Not if you disarm them. Just saying. How admirably responsible of you. A model to be emulated. I practice disarming bombs every day. I practice assembling them too. Don't admit that part. You're guilty. The disarming part I get, but assembling them? Well, I'll have you know that I practice presenting evidence every day myself. I see, but do you ever practice having evidence presented to you? Presented to me? What? No, Then you cannot very well call yourself a professional yet, can you? Grr! That does it. I'm gonna start practicing having evidence presented to me every day. And you better drink some coffee, boss. We're gonna be pulling an all-nighter. I don't think that will be necessary. Or worth either of our time. So, Mr. Tony, what did you witness from the gallery? I saw that the bomb's timer was counting down. Oh, whoops. So you're trying to find testimony that conflicts with the evidence, right? That's right. Listen carefully, Mr. Toka. After that, it's okay. Remember that you can say okay. You find out it's okay. But when the bomb went off. So the thing was pretty important. Bomb that didn't look like a bomb because it was inside of a stuffed thing. It's strange that you can't click, like most things I'm used to, you could click to. Here, I guess you can.
Hold it!
You saw it counting down clearly with your own eyes? I'd hardly think a timer as small as the one on this bomb could be seen from the gallery. These goggles help me see very small things clearly from far away. I can even see what you had for breakfast by looking at your tie. Why do I suddenly feel like a bug under a magnifying glass? I guess it's possible he saw the timer if he was wearing those goggles. I'm not so sure. There's something that just doesn't sit right with me. I don't think I follow. The bomb was... You're giving it away! Phoenix is giving it away. The bomb was completely hidden inside the stuffed animal. So well concealed, in fact, that it didn't even look like a bomb at all. So you're trying to find... Okay. So now I can skip this. So I'm going to test out if I hit consult, wherever consult is. Oh, it's not here. There's no consult? Oh, and that's what that is. That's handy. Alright. You couldn't have seen that.
Objection!
So you say you saw the bomb's countdown, is that right? Of course, I clearly saw it counting down to 0. And I say that you are clearly lying. What are you talking about? There is no way you could have seen the bomb's timer. After all, the bomb was concealed inside a stuffed animal. Give him that slam. Mr. Tonate, how can you claim to know the bomb was about to go off when you couldn't even see the timer? Ugh! But this... just randomly typing.
What? No!
That does seem like a glaring inconsistency indeed. Witness, how do you explain this?
All Phoenix Wright theme music is amazing. This is very, very good though. I like the it's got the nice violin to it. Well, I.
Oh, that was great, Mr. Wright. You found a contradiction right off the bat.
Always remember, Athena, when you find an inconsistency in a witness testimony, there's always a reason behind it. It could be a lie, a hidden meaning, a secret, or they could be a murderer. Whatever it is, it's up to us to dig it out. And pointing out every contradiction we find is the best way to do it, right, boss? Now, the question is, what can we dig out of Mr. Tony? Well, let me see. No. There must be some mistake. Oh, yes, of course. I remember now that I'm on the witness stand in court. The sound, I knew because of the sound.
Sound? What sound?
When the timer on this type of bomb is switched on, it beeps softly. Beep, beep, beep. It is the sound of the bomb counting down.
A beeping noise, you said. I suppose it would be possible to notice that even with the bomb inside the stuffed animal.
I simply made a mistake. My bad.
Objection!
How in the world did you hear such a tiny little sound all the way from the gallery? I have robot ears too. Listening for the sound of a bomb's timer is an integral part of my work. I constantly undergo training so that I will never miss it. I hardly think training would help you hear something so soft from so far away. What now? Are you making light of the fine science of disarming bombs? It is a solemn mission that I put my life on the line to perform. What kind of specialist would I be if I could not hear a bomb's timer? What kind of a bomb would it be if it could be detected just by hearing it? It's not like disassembling a toaster, you know. Now he's just showing off.
You keep asserting that the sound was too tiny to hear, but the only tiny thing here is your skill as a lawyer. Being suspicious is not an attractive quality, you know.
And you're just overflowing with attractive qualities, are you?
Or perhaps you have some proof that Mr. Tone did not hear the sound.
Well, no, but it still seems totally suspect. But it's going to be really hard to prove that he didn't hear something.
If I have this correct, the prosecution's argument is that someone reactivated the bomb before it was brought into the courtroom. What I don't understand, Mr. Payne, is why you believe that person to be Ms. Woods.
Yeah, we didn't need to bring a bomb disposal expert in to to say, like, maybe it wasn't her.
That's simple, Your Honor. Mr. Tonate happened to be there when it happened. He was there when the defendant rearmed the bomb.
What's this now? It happened before the trial started. It was when Detective Arm and I were transporting the bomb. We brought the bomb to the lobby for the defense. Bomb equals evidence. The lawyer wanted to see it before the start of the trial.
Looking for a chance to get at the bomb, Ms. Woods was already there in that lobby. Her goal was surely to rearm the bomb and steal the remote switch.